tumour. It presses on the optic nerve.
Mrs. Stevens! Mrs. Stevens!
Morse, I want to speak to Chief Inspector Morse.
Call an ambulance! Quick!
You realise I could charge you with being an accessory after the fact of Dr. McClaw's murder?
A wife's got to stand by her husband.
Oh, yes. Even when he beats her.
If I hadn't, he might have killed me.
Who told you to say that? Mrs. Stevens?
No.
And did you stand by while your husband was being murdered? Or did you stab him yourself?
Me kill Ted?
Come on, Mrs.
I never saw Ted from the moment that I walked out that door to catch the bus to Stratford. He was sitting there, watching telly.
Yeah, same carpet the body was wrapped in, no question.
I'll get on to Morse right away.
Hello, Mrs. Stevens.
Fire burn and cauldron bubble. But she can't produce the words she wants. It's part of the illness.
Can't she understand what's said to her?
I don't know. Doubtful. Mrs. Stevens, lie quietly now.
Fillet of a fenny snake. In the cauldron, boil and bake.
Lie still now. Then speak slowly, quietly.
I have Newton-toe frog.
Mrs. Stevens, I know there's something you want to tell me. Is it about the death of Ted Brooks? Did his wife, Brenda, kill him?
The out, damn spot out, I say.
Was it his stepdaughter, Kay?
Here's the smell of blood. Still, all the perfumes of Arabia.
Mrs. Stevens, very steady now. Did you kill Ted Brooks?
It will have blood, they say. Blood will have blood.
Hairbrush. Lipstick. Mirror. What's this?
Oh, it's a letter for Chief Inspector Morse from Mrs. Stevens to be opened in the event of her death.
Do you want him to have it now?
Well, she's very bad, but she did say in the event.
Suppose I give it to him. He can open it if and when.
Oh, it's when, not if. Yes. Can I keep my ashes?
Well, it's rubbish. Complete rubbish.
Most of it's quite true. All the detail.
So she came back from an evening of Shakespeare, tucked a cleaning lady up in bed, then went out and knifed the cleaning lady's husband, wrapped him in carpet and black plastic bags, put him in a car.
I said quite true, Lewis. All three of them were there, and they killed him before they went to Stratford. And that was the point of the phony theft from the museum, to mislead us as to the time. Because if a murder weapon is known to be locked away till a certain time, on a certain day...
Then the murder can't possibly have taken place before then. Stands to reason. But in this case...
Exactly.
So when did they kill him?
Wednesday night, Thursday morning, when not one of them has an alibi worth tuppence. Must have been Julia Stevens did the actual knifing. That's why she kept on and on about blood.
But Kay was there to drive the car.
And help with the body. Brenda would have been no use humping her husband about with that injured arm. But can we get either of them to admit it? And there's still Davies. He hasn't got a story for early Thursday.
Well, none of them have. Except the one we can't question.
Wednesday? Why Wednesday?
Because Wednesday night or Thursday morning is when Ted Brooks was killed.
But I thought...
Where were you?
I was here all day with the housekeeper. Ashley's parents are giving us some of their glass and linen as part of the wedding present. They have fun.
And the evening?
Ashley and I went up to a rugby dinner in London. Ashley got paralytic. He always does. So I took him home to my flat in Chelsea.
What time was that?
About midnight.
And then?
Then we went to bed. The next thing I knew was the alarm going off at 5 so that Ashley could get up to go to the gallows.
How well do you know Julia Stevens, miss?
Never met her.
You sure?
Yes.
Because she told me that you'd put her car in the garage for her last Wednesday. She said you had to do it because she was too ill to do it herself.
What can I say? I've never even seen Mrs. Stevens or her car.
We know the car was used to take your stepfather's body to the river.
If you say so.
You were driving it, weren't you?
Sorry, I don't know where this mad idea comes from.
Any objection to giving us your fingerprints?
None whatever. Look, if you got this from Mrs. Stevens, well, Mum said she's been saying a lot of funny things this last week or two. Getting words wrong, people mixed up.
Thursday. What were you doing Thursday after you met me?
Went to Birmingham, like I told you.
What were you doing there?
Seeing a client.
I thought you'd given up all that.
I was saying goodbye to him.
What's his name?
I'd really rather not say. But if you want proof I went to Birmingham. There was this man, tried to pick me up in the buffet car. You'll remember me.
Thanks. We'll give him a call. Meanwhile, if you wouldn't mind coming to the station with us.
Is this all right? Or should I change? Darling, we're going down the police station. Coming?
What for? I thought I'd answered all your questions. I was at the office all day. At least 20 people can confirm that. There were 75 people at the dinner.
Can you give me the name of someone at the club, sir? Someone to confirm that?
Yeah. Reese Martin Davies. He's the secretary. The number's 0181 693 5019.
And afterwards, you went directly to Chelsea. You didn't go Oxford.
Oxford?
Mrs. Stevens actually killed Ted Brooks, but it took more than one person to wrap up his body and manhandle it down to the river.
I wasn't capable of manhandling a miniature poodle that night. Honestly, when I get plastered.
Perhaps Miss Brooks left you unconscious in the car while she...
Look, I went to bed in Chelsea. I woke up in Chelsea. Kay brought me in a pot of coffee at 5:15.
How was she dressed?
She wasn't.
Fresh and clean from the bath, was she? At 5:15 in the morning?
We don't wear pyjamas. Either of us.
No one under 40 wears a nightdress. No one I know. I was practicing to be a good wife, getting my man off to work. But as soon as he was out of the flat, I'm afraid I went straight back to bed.
Oh, Watson.
Excuse me.
My pleasure.
He was plastered, pushing people in the swimming pool. We were glad she took him home. He's a bloody menace when he gets drunk. Falls about and shouts.
Then she wouldn't have wanted him with her. It was just the women, Lewis. Let him go. You hated Ted Brooks. You admit that?
With all my heart and soul.
Then why, when you knew he'd killed a man you liked, loved even, why didn't you go to the police? He'd have got life. Your mum and you would have been rid of him for years.
Not without a trial. I'd have had to give evidence. Imagine the headlines. Kay bonked as Ted bashed. Now, Ashley's family would have loved it. They made him leave Oxford, they'd have made him leave me, sent him to the Philippines or wherever for 5 years.
So you were prepared to let a murderer go free?
I wanted to start again. To live as though the past had simply never happened.
People can't do that.
So it seems. So, are you going to charge me with failing to report a murder?
Why only one? I'll be back later.
I know you people are used to getting people to confess to things they didn't do. But I won't. Never.
Kate can't have it both ways. If what Mrs. Stevens wrote in her letter was true, then so was what she said to me.
But you had no witness she said it. She hadn't even been cautioned.
No,
It'll
but...
never stand up in court, Lewis.
Well, you can hold her for accessory after the fact of McClure's murder.
Only if we charge Brenda Brooks, too.
Well, why not?
The CPS would never look at it. Her solicitor would get Helena Kennedy or another of those women lawyers to defend her. She'd say that she lived in terror of her husband and show her scars. No jury would convict her in a million years. And then one of the tabloids would offer her several £1,000s for her story.
Pack of lies, you mean?
It would not be a good use of public money, Lewis.
Well, what about the knife? The business at the museum?
We know it couldn't have been Kay or Brenda Brooks.
Well, then there must have been an accomplice. Let's start making inquiries.
I will talk to the super, but I am very much afraid, Lewis, this case is closed.
What?
We know Brooks killed McClure, and we have Mrs. Stevens' confession that she killed Brooks.
But the other two?
We have no evidence, Lewis.
We can question them again in the morning.
All right. Yes, they can spend one night in the cells. It's more than most criminals.
What's this? Are you losing your grip or what?
I think Mrs. Stevens was a very clever woman. Cleverer than we are. And cleverest of all, by being dead.
Go on, give her a kiss. Give her a kiss with his hand. His face. Miss Brooks, has your mother been released?
not looking for anyone further in the case of Dr. McClure, and the person who killed Ted Brooks has since died, so...
So, no trial. No trial. No publicity. So the appeal can go on as though... You know what? We'll make it a memorial appeal for Felix. The old members will stump up even more.
I appreciate your concern for justice, Lewis. I appreciate it very much. I mean, justice is fundamentally what our work's all about. And, of course, we could pursue our inquiries. We always can, almost ad infinitum.
That's the accomplice at the museum, sir?
As you know, resources are extremely strained at the moment. And there really doesn't seem to be any point in expending further time and money on these two cases.
But the murderers are still walking about out there.
I don't think so. Accomplices, possibly, but we'd never get a conviction.
But, sir, you can't just...
The decision to close the case was taken at the highest level, Lewis, where reports of your work on it have been most favourably received. I mean, 2 murders cleared up at minimal expense, no costly trial. I mean, who knows? The powers that be might well feel able to unfreeze a promotion. Inspectors will be as good as chief inspectors soon, so it'll be as good as a double promotion.
I don't think it's right, sir.
You think it over. We need decent people like you in the force, building their careers, going on to higher things. People who understand the real values of police work.
I'm not sure I want to stay, sir. Not when things like this happen.
Lewis.
Sir?
Think about it. And ask Morse to come and see me, would you?
He's at the funeral.
Off to celebrate, Robbie?
Off bloody home.